Antoine.
Hi there.
Hi there. That worked.
Nice to see you.
Very good.
It's
Boy,
better on inside.
what a beautiful view and great weather you were saying. Wow.
Yeah, it's good. It's recently this week has been very, very sunny, and I wanted to be here, and we are lucky because the connection is very nice. I'm
Yeah.
going to turn the camera so you can see exactly what I can see. We are on top of the hill here,
Wow.
and it's good because we can really see the differences between the terraces, so close to the river plots, and the top of the hill where I'm standing.
Wow. That's unbelievable. What a view.
It's very nice, and it's crazy to think that a few hundred years ago there was nothing but vines on the top of the hills. So here
Really?
I can show you here on this location. You can imagine that there was no tree, only
Okay.
only Malbec.
Wow.
And
That's
the
great.
phylloxera crisis, yeah, it touched us a lot. So many grapes were tied off.
Wow. That's crazy. So you're in your vineyard now?
Um,
Or you're
Actually, we own this place, and if I turn back, you can see the beginning of the vines. So I can directly go there if you want, or I can wait here if you.
whatever you want to do. It's you got an amazing arm isn't tired. Oh out.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
Okay. So, Antoine, would you tell us who you are and what your job is and how you got where you are in the wine world?
I work at the Chateau Eugenie. It's the family estate located in the southwest of France, and mostly we are famous for the Malbec red grape. But recently, we also try to develop some new range by planting some new white grapes. And just behind me, it's one of the best plots we have for Malbec. But also recently, 15 years ago, we planted some Chardonnay, Viognier, and Chenin, because the location here, the soil, is very poor and very rich in limestone. So limestone is the essence, the true spirit of Cahors. So that's why we decided to try some match with some new white grapes.
Wow. Oh, hey, Antoine, I'm used to doing this myself. So since you're hosting the chat, when you're done with this, there's an option to save it and put a preview up, and make sure you do that so that I can grab the
Okay,
video. Thank you.
sure.
So is it your family winery, and you're what generation?
No, I'm not a part of the family actually. I joined the team 6 years ago, and it's been the same family for grape production, not for wine production, but they started to produce grape 500 years ago, and recently in the 70s they decided to take out the grapes they produced to the Caf cooperative, and they decided to make their own wine. So the history of the Chateau Eugenie officially started with labeled bottle of wines in 1973, but we're used to produce grapes for a longer time.
I see. Very cool. And what is your role there then?
The good stuff about working small family estates is that you have to know to do a lot of stuff. So at the beginning, I was in charge of the visits, wine tourism, tasting, sales, and after that, I've developed some social networks and some wine fairs. Some also, I take time to welcome some wine professional, and also like you some videos, some new things, because we started in 1973. So at the beginning, our customers are not so young really right now. I mean the ones that were here from the beginning. And the good stuff about the estate is that all the customers make taste to their son, grandson, family, friends. And when you drink Chateau Eugenie, there's always this family spirit inside a bottle. So today, many people drink a wine from 18 to 95. It's good.
That's awesome. So can you give us an overview of Cahors? And I would actually like you, so I was saying that you're in the Dordogne Valley, and someone corrected me that you're in the Lot.
Yeah, it's a bit complicated for some foreign people to know about the precise location.
So can you explain Périgord and then the Dordogne and the lot?
Uh, Dordogne is not so far actually. It's like 2 hours driving, and the region is very different because mostly they have Bordeaux grapes. So in terms of red grape, they have Cabernet, Sauvignon, Merlot, and Malbec, and Petit Verdot. And for the whites, they have mostly Semillon, Sauvignon, and Muscadel. Here in Cahors, either the wine and the gastronomy is somehow different because Cahors has been the capital of Malbec from 2,000 years ago.
Um, and but both rivers are in the Périgord.
Sorry?
Both regions are inside Périgord.
No, no. Cahors is it's located in the Lot, and it's a small region. But I think the southwest included Dordogne, but 24 department, and the Lot is 46. We have, I think, like a 10, 12 most beautiful French villages inside. You know, it's a classification all over France, and maybe you can see and visit the most beautiful places of all territory. And this classification has nominated like 10 or 12 of these villages, best villages in this area, like 1.5, 2 hours driving from here all around. So
You're
that's why we have so many tourists here.
you're speaking of the Appalachian Southwest.
Yeah, the global Southwest is very rich in terms of wine location, wine tourism, and also pilgrim, because there's a Saint-Jacques de Compostelle path crossing here.
Right. Can you talk about the cuisine a little bit of the region?
We say, you know about the Greek cuisine, that they live very long time because of the olive oil.
Yeah.
And the Southwest it's a bit the same because we are not used to eat so much beef, even if many people do. But the most meat we eat is duck, and it's very good because all of the duck is good fat, as many people say here. So this is the meat part, but we are also very famous all around for melon, for strawberries, for saffron.
Oh, I didn't know saffron came from there.
Yeah, there's many producers here. It's a very small production and it's a very complicated way of making it. But anyway, it's also something that people stop for here.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And
I love eating down there. It's the best. It's all the duck.
yeah, I've seen that you have a good memory of the walnut pies, right?
Yeah, I gotta find a recipe for that. And I always think of the vin de noix from the region too. I love that.
Yeah, there's also a very famous aperitif called Fenelon.
What is it?
It's a mix of wine and walnut cream and cassis.
Wow.
It's quite a sweet red wine aperitif. Very very typical from here. Becky, their dish of red wine and melon. Actually, the melon is very enjoyed with some local aperitif called ratafia. It's a mix of grape juice and Malbec brandy, and in another region, it's also called Pinot des Charentes or Floc de Gascogne.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's very typical from here too, because everyone has his own recipe, secret one.
I love it. I didn't know any of that. So, can you talk about the Malbec grape and the soil that makes Cahors its separate appellation?
Yeah, you know that recently, I would say 20, 30 years ago, Argentinian Malbec has been very famous in terms of name. Luckily, Malbec is not the original name of the grape. It's the Argentinian that gave the grape this name, and we enjoyed the reputation and all the focus on that to let people know, hey guys, it's from here. At the beginning, we are the creators of Malbec. So
Exactly.
recently, many people started to call it Malbec, but the original name is Cote, C-O-T, or Auxerrois. And it was not really easy to engrave it in people's mind, we decided to join the Malbec train to let people know it's from here. So you're right, Cahors equal Malbec, and it's been here forever, as long as we have planted vines here. And I'm actually on the typical soil where vines of Malbec were planted, I would say, 2,000 years ago. So the limestone and the limestone clay plateau are the original grapes, the original soils, sorry, for Malbec. And why that is because Malbec requires some hydric stress to
Okay.
be really concentrated and to have some depth. And also because limestone brings some acidity. It's easy to have a strong Malbec, very rich, but if you have no acidity, no freshness, the one is fat and it's heavy. So the combination of the climate and of the soil makes the grape with a perfect balance between body and acidity. And that's what makes Cahors so special compared to our friends of Argentina, because we don't irrigate, we don't water the grapes, and it makes very good changes.
And how do you maintain that acidity? Is it the cool nights, or is it picking early, or?
Yeah, where I stand, there's a big gap between the terraces in here because the temperature difference is very huge between day and night, and also because the grapes they need some they keep their energy to feed the grapes.
Uh-huh.
Where the vines are planted, when you can see it on the valley, it's
Uh-huh.
very close to the river, and all the moisturized or the water is brought easily. So the vines are like in holidays, you know.
But on that mountain behind you, you said used to be covered in vine. Would those grapes be more hydric stress and then taste different?
Yeah, that's it. Where you see it on the terraces close to the river, it's very moisturized, and the water there's no lack of water. But where I stand, it's the opposite. It's very dry, and I'm going to try to move a bit. So
Okay.
not sure if you lose signal, you'll tell me. I'll get back where I was.
Okay.
So I'm very in a dry location, and sometimes when people come here, all they can say is have a picnic, because I don't know if you can see the ground, but
Uh-huh.
it's only a rock, in dry rock.
Yeah.
So when we plant some vines, when we plant some new, very young plants, the beginning is hard because on this kind of soil, it gets really dry. Is that still okay for the connection?
Yeah, yeah, great.
Great, good. So this plot is one of the best we have. We own a little more than 50 hectares,
Oh,
and
wow.
this location is one of the best because the concentration and also the freshness is on very high levels on this location. So I don't know if you can already see
Yeah.
some of the grapes. And the good stuff about here, it's not like Châteauneuf-du-Pape with these little soft rocks. It's very full of limestone.
I see.
I'm going to turn the camera up, and you can see.
Wow, yeah.
So this is very dry rocks,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see there's almost no grass here because it's too dry.
Yeah. Wow.
So the Malbec start to turn red.
Uh-huh.
You see?
And you've got Verizon. I heard, yeah. Now I think I hear you again. We were too lucky for too long. Hey, Lauren. Hi, Adrian. Thank you for joining. I think he's walking back towards the hill. overlooking the river because there. I think you're back now. There, now I got you back.
Good.
Well, that was good. We got to, but I think it's probably better back where we were.
So I'm going try not to move. Can you?
Okay.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah, that's very good. Awesome.
Good.
So what's work being done in the vineyard right now?
Sorry?
What work is there any proof?
Sorry. I'm going to move a bit higher because I hear you, but not the best. Is that any better now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's good.
I was just saying what work is being done in the vineyard now.
All the work is done for now. It's we every time when we finish a season work, we do a little dinner with some co-workers, and all the stuff we do for now is cutting the top leaves when it grows too much.
Oh, okay.
So you can see here, in a few days we're going to cut the top to limitate the vines grow, so the vines can feed the best grapes.
Okay.
And recently, I don't know if you can.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can see the fence because there's wild pigs here, eating all the grapes. So sometimes we lose like 20% of the harvest. So we needed to make some electricity fence to provide any trouble.
Wow. I'm kind of fascinated by the sanglier, the wild boars.
Yeah.
It's not fun for you. So
it's not good.
You said you were growing Chardonnay and Chenin. Is that still is it a vin de France or it can be called Malbec?
Cahors is only for reds.
I mean,
so Cahors will never be anything else but a red wine made with 70% of Malbec at least.
What other grapes can go in a Cahors?
If we want, and if you have some inside your plot, you can put 30% of Merlot and Tannat.
Oh, okay.
So mostly, I would say these two grapes are unlikely to be blended because the style is the opposite. So what we do most of the time is to blend Malbec and Merlot on young vines to have easy to drink and fruity Cahors.
Okay.
And on the other hand, we have in the Chateau Eugenie old plots of Tannat. And we can blend it with very old Malbec to make another kind of wine, deeper and stronger.
I see. So how many cuvées do you make then?
We have 4 different Cahors. And I didn't entirely answer your question previously. Cahors is an AOP, so in English it's a protected denomination of origin, right? And we have also PGI for anything but Cahors. So it's good for us because we can make 100% Merlot, so it's protected geographical indication, and we also can produce a Chardonnay 80% and Viognier 20%. What do we do? And I'm going to show you this one. I brought the bottle here.
Oh, kind.
So
nice.
I'm going to change the camera so you can see it. Up. So it's the name of the family is sewing in French.
Okay.
So you see there's a wire like sewing on the label, and this one is called hand sewing.
Oh, Kusu is the name. I don't know that word. Kusu.
Kusu is sew, but the family name is sewing.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
So this one is Chardonnay and Viognier. Recently, we also planted some Chenin. This one is very special. It's like velvet label.
I love it.
It's a small bottle. It's a sweet wine. Oh. And one of the first Malbec in Cahors we started to make here was with this one. It's called a Haute Collection.
Okay.
So still we have a reminder of the name because of the dress.
Mm-hmm.
And this is especially the vines we're standing on, just in front of you. You can see the haute collection will be made with this.
I see. Okay. Now, you were saying that there's kind of two styles of the red wine. One is the lighter with the Merlot, and one is the like older vine with more structure. If I'm in a
Most of the time, yeah.
if I'm in a wine store, or which style might be, is there a way, or you just have to know the wine?
I think it's similar to Alsace wines. Sometimes when there's no back label, you know, you never know if you're gonna drink something dry or sweet.
Yeah.
And I think Cahors will be the same. Most of the time, people expect for a rich and deep wine.
Yeah.
And I have to say, many people were right, but like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Today, when we make some Cahors, there's no obligation to do something strong and very extracted and with long aging. You can really have almost like Beaujolais or Burgundy style with not so deep color, light taste, very light and round aromas, and a wine that you don't need to wait. You can easily drink for like 1-2 years.
Right. Nice. And then we kind of talked about this before, but there are some new people on here. What food is ideal to pair with both of those wines, maybe?
You mean different styles of Cahors?
Well, with the two styles of Cahors, what food would you put with them?
Easy to drink and round Cahors on the fruit, on the youth, are wines that are easy to pair with summer meat, like barbecue, and sometimes even some local chef, pair it with some fish, but I don't remember the name. It's called maybe turbo, or there's some fishes that are really deep, if you remember. And the pairing with the red wine is really very nice. But typically, Cahors is amazing on every game and big beef pieces, lamb, and also we like to match it with foie gras. Just a cooked foie gras cold. It's very, very nice. I'm going to show you another view. It's very nice too. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, very good. And what is that, a pigeon background?
It's there's few names. Luckily, it's the one that we built ourselves in 2007. It's historically a shelter for shepherd.
Oh, okay. And what do you call that?
Here we call here gariote, but in Dordogne it's maybe Capitelle. Borie. It's Borie, Borie, and in the southeast is Capitelle.
Okay, very cool. Thank you.
It's very, very different. So just a little check on the view where I am. It's the other side of the valley.
Wow. Just go. Wow.
Up. So here is the young grapes of Chardonnay, I guess. It's Chateau Eugenie because you can see the vines are very smaller, you know.
Right.
It's small, so it's like 15, 20 years old, and this is also different kind of grape.
Nice, beautiful, and still a great view.
Yeah, it's getting colder. It's only 28.
Oh, okay. Going
Up, well, I'm back.
Everything. Have you told us everything that we should know about your wine?
Yeah, I think it's interesting also that people know that mostly we harvest the grapes by machine that we share with like 2-3 producers because it's a very expensive machine. We harvest by hand all the wines that are located here in this area because they are considered as our top range. And also for us, machine is very good because it's a way to decrease the cost of production of wines. So if you come to visit us, you can easily buy a rosé around €4.50, for easy drinking.
Yeah.
And the first Cahors is around €7.
Okay.
So in the US, we have different markets, so you are aware that the price is different because there are a
Yeah.
bit of difference between our price and yours.
Oh,
But still, in the US, we are considered, as a friends, a very good value for money wine.
yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. What is the rosé called? What's the appellation?
It's PGI. It's as Malbec is PDO, as Cahors is PDO. All of the appellations, all of the whites, all of the rosé, and all of the reds, which are made with not enough Malbec, not 70% of Malbec, are called protected geographical indication.
Gotcha. Thank you. Well, I will let you go. Thank you so much for planning out this whole thing, getting up the hill, bringing.
Pleasure to be with you, and good to see the video finally worked.
Yeah, thanks for working with me on that. I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure to meet you and to see you around. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we'll just catch up later for me to share the video with you, right?
Yeah, awesome. And make sure to save it when you edit, okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Antoine, I really appreciate it. It's nice chatting with you.
Bye bye. See you next time.